Ora pashikra hantala. Laungres kalira paradira. Zazou jalira canvosila bonvra hatagira. Lengros kalira mondola bara pashendelira. Yendelira mandolera baradila. Laungras calfrasijalira andalira aprakere. Os kalira andalira. Yendelira mongrolira borodila. Igras kalira baradila.
Shalom, beloved brothers. We're here to hear another story of transformed lives. And today we are here with Brother Domingos Macavi, him who had benefit of the powerful hand of God over his life. Brother Domingos arrived at church tormented by 360 demons. He manifested an aggressive behavior, and it was exactly at that day that workers took him before the man of God. So aggressive he was behaving that it took many workers to hold him down in a way of containing him because he was manifesting demons and he was acting very aggressive. But we're here with him, and it will be him in the first person to tell his testimony and his story of a transformed life. Shalom, Brother Domingos. Tell us your story. Shalom, church. Shalom, Father. Shalom, Mother. My name is Domingos Macave.
Meu nome é Domingos Antônio Macari.
My name is Domingo Antonio Macave.
Veio à
I'm the
igreja
young man who came to
a igreja
church,
do apóstolo
to the
Honório,
church of the Apostle
Cutane,
Norio Cutane,
atormentado
tormented
por
by
demônios.
demons.
E posso dizer
And I
que
can
passava
say
por
that I was going
dificuldades na
through
vida
hardships in life.
e as dificuldades da
And
vida
the hardships of
faziam
life made
parecer que
me
não estava
look
muito bem
like
com
someone
tudo.
who's not
Mas
very
graças a
okay on
Deus,
their mind. But thanks
já
be to
saí
God, I'm
daquela
out of
situação
that situation.
e Deus me deu uma boa
And God
saúde
gave me
e uma boa
health and a
vida.
good life.
Agora já estou muito bem.
Now I'm very
Mas
well.
antes eu
But
sofria
before I suffered,
desde a minha
since
adolescência.
I was
Eu
born,
nasci e cresci
I
sofrendo
grew
mesmo.
up suffering truly.
É por isso que
And that's why
Deus
after
estava naquele estado
I was
em que
at
eu
that
tinha
state
360 demônios
where I had 360
e
demons,
só de eu ter
that
nascido,
only for being
mas o
born,
problema
the problem
começa tudo
truly begins when
em que uma das situações é que eu não
in
estudei,
one
não
of the
tive como
situations is
estudar.
that I didn't study. I didn't
Desde
have how to
criança
study since
tentei estudar,
I was a boy.
mas não
I
estudei
tried to
bem
study and I didn't
por causa das
study
dificuldades,
well because of hardships.
mas um pouco
But a bit,
acabei
I tried a
acabei
bit,
me
and I
encontrando
ended up
no meio de
finding myself
situações
in the midst of
onde
situations because of my
o meu
father.
pai era alguém
My
que
father was someone
gostava de
who
curandeiros.
liked to go to witch doctors.
Ele gostava
He
de
liked
fazer
to
pactos com curandeiros.
make pacts with witch
Ele foi atrás de
doctors. He
coisas,
went after
dessas
things
que
that
ele
he
usou para se imunizar
to
contra essas
immunize
coisas.
himself as
Mas
a
para
box
mim,
fighter, but
chegou a lutar
he didn't even got to fight.
e desconseguindo aquilo que já
And
estava
not
velho,
managing
levou aquelas
to
coisas
do that
todas
because he
e
was
doou a
already
mim.
old, he took all his
É
things
por
and
isso
gave to
que
me. And that's
desde criança
why,
não tive nenhum
since I'm a
sucesso
boy, I didn't
por
have
causa
any
daquelas
success
coisas.
because of those things.
E depois daí,
And after that,
eu decidi continuar a
I
estudar.
decided to keep on studying,
Estudar não estava a dar
and
certo.
studying wasn't working out.
Terminei na quinta classe
So much that ended at the
em
fifth grade
2015
at
e por ver de que só estou a
2015,
reprovar
foreseeing that I'm only
desde já de muitos
failing.
anos,
I failed for
comecei a
many
estudar com
years.
os 6 anos
I
e
began to
acabei
study
deixando de
6 year
estudar
old,
em
and I
2015, sempre a
ended
desenvolver
studying
em
2015, not
2015.
developing in
Sim, em
2015.
2015.
Yes, I stopped studying
Na quinta classe,
2015 in
sem
the fifth
saber nada.
grade, not
Então,
knowing nothing. So
daí, o que é que
from
eu
there,
fiz?
what I do,
Tentei outras
I
maneiras
tried other ways
de me
of
esforçar, mas no
putting
meio disso
effort,
não conseguia nada.
but
Acabei
through that
deixando
I
os
couldn't find
estudos.
nothing, and I ended up living it. And
Saí
what
de
I
casa,
did,
vim para uma
I left home, I came to Maputo, I arrived here, began to work, I worked, and when working, the money I received, I couldn't even see, I didn't do nothing important, you see, not even clothes for me to wear, I couldn't buy them. I only went from a side to another, I didn't know what to do, you see. And when I went back home, I asked, but what is this that is happening to my life? And not even you don't isn't there any one of you who thinks of helping me? Only all of you are only telling me stories. But all that because my father went after pacts. He died, and what he did, he left those things of pacts that he had took. I don't know what he then did, and they decided that they wouldn't be able of managing those packed things, so they took it and gave it to me. I don't know what ritual they did, but they gave those things to me, and there appeared chimpanzees and snakes giving it to me, and that's why at that moment I then began to drink and smoke. Seemed I was not okay in my head. To work, anything I did didn't work out. And without knowing where those things were coming from, not even from people, no one gave me prestige or value, not even to give me a job was very hard. And the job that I managed to get sometimes was just to give me money so I could drink and smoke. Buy important things. No, I didn't even think of that. I truly couldn't. I tried to do it. I tried to go to my siblings, my friends, to live with them and living with them. I tried to work. I tried to put effort to see if my life could change. Could come out of poorness, but nothing happened because of the things that happened at home. But one of these days, by the patience I had, I really waited. They say that God's things take long, but they never fail. I had a strength from inside that within me. I said, one day I'll go through this. I'll go through this. And I asked myself a lot when these things will change. But I asked myself a lot that when will I come out of this situation? But one time and another that thought came and I said, I don't need God because God never gave me not even a plate of food. He never even gave me nothing to eat. That's why I lived the life I lived. I smoked. There's nothing that was good in my life. There's nothing that happened that didn't guide me to drink. I always drank and smoked. My family, I took for knowing. No one in my family, no one came after me and at least wanting to know where I'm at. And if some now come after me or call me, it's because they saw videos that were filmed on that day of my deliverance, and they even now began to try me. But the truth is that I managed to win by the spirit that I had. And for the pain I carried inside me, asking, but well, how will I end in this life? How will I end on this earth? And that's why I ended up going after a church so I could be delivered. How did you get to church on that day? You've been invited by a friend. Who did show the church to you on that day? On that day that I got to church of the to church of the Apostle Nadio, I was sleeping, but actually I was not even sleeping. I was seated. I used to watch the services on TV. When I watched the services, I saw sometimes people testifying, talking about overcome and thanking God. I saw people saying, "I thank God for what He did for me." Some appeared saying that I was in a critical situation, and now God, He sorted it out. And I, inside me, began to ask myself, uh, if I go to that church, Will I have help?
Será que não posso ter salvação se eu for para aquela igreja?
Can't I have salvation if I
Por
go
causa
to that
da
church?
dor.
You see,
Depois eu mesmo
because of
dia,
the
domingo,
pain.
dormindo,
And then that same day I
vi o
went to
apóstolo
bed.
em
Went to
visão.
bed. I saw the apostle in a vision,
Ele me dizia em sonhos, por mais que você
and he
deva
was
ir,
telling me in
você tem de
dreams,
vir até
though
mim
you walk
para que eu te
around,
libertar. Eu acordei.
you must
Acordei,
come to
saí do
me so I
quarto,
can deliver you. And I woke up.
estava a acordar.
It was
E meus
around
irmãos também
4
acordaram.
a.m.
E
And my
chamei
brothers
as
also
pessoas com
woke
quem eu
up,
vivia,
and I call them brothers because those are
sentado com
people who
eles.
I lived
E
with.
começaram a se preparar,
Seated with
cada um dizia
them,
que vai à sua
they
igreja.
began to
E me
get ready.
disseram,
Each was saying
vamos
that
à
they were
igreja,
going
me
on to their own
convidaram, porque
church,
eles
and they
fazem
said to
parte de
me,
uma determinada
"Let's go
igreja.
to
Eu
church,"
disse,
inviting me
não, eu
because
não vou ir à
they're part
igreja.
of a determined church. And I said, "Oh no, I don't want to go to
E eu
church."
fiquei ali
And I stayed
e eu
there,
perguntei, assim
and
que eu
I
vi o
asked
apóstolo, será
myself,
que ele não está me a
as
chamar
I
de
saw
verdade?
the apostle, isn't he
Eu tomei
calling me
banho,
truly?
comi,
I showered, I
saí
ate,
depois de ter fumado
and there after
maconha.
smoking marijuana.
Eu dentro de mim disse, quero sair,
Inside
quero
me, I
chegar lá
said,
e ver se sou um
I
pouco
want to leave. I
alterado.
want to get there while I'm a bit high.
Saí, fui, cheguei na
And there I
igreja.
went and I stayed in church.
Quando
When I
cheguei na
got to
igreja,
church,
eu
I
cheguei,
got there and I
encontrei,
found
eram 8
I arrived.
da
It
manhã,
was
nem o culto
8
havia
a.m.
iniciado, ainda
and the
estavam lá
service didn't
as
even
pessoas
begin
dentro do
yet.
templo.
People were
Eu
still going
sentei,
inside the
fiquei
temple. I
nas
just went
traseiras, nos
in
bancos,
and I
no
sat at
pátio,
the
porque dentro do
back
templo estava
seats
cheio.
at the
E eu não
yard of the church
conhecia
because inside the
a
temple was full and
igreja.
I didn't know
Cheguei lá
the
perguntando
church.
pelo caminho.
I
Quando
arrived
cheguei lá
there
também,
asking
entrei
on
num
the way.
carro
When I arrived at
antes
Matalan
de
train,
chegar a Boane.
I entered in the bus, and before
Encontrei-me
arriving
com um
to
senhor
Boan,
dentro do chapa. Eu perguntei, o
I
senhor está
found
tudo
a
bem?
man
Eu
inside a bus,
perguntei,
and I
o senhor
asked,
vai para
"Mister,
onde?
is
Ele
everything
disse, eu
okay?"
vou
And I
para
said,
casa. Eu
"Mister,
perguntei aonde.
where are you going to?" He
Ele
said,
disse, eu
"I'm
vou
going
para a
home." And I
direção de
asked,
Boane.
"Where?" He said,
Eu
"Oh,
perguntei, vai
well,
para
I'm
a
going
direção de
to
Boane?
Boan."
Ele
And I
sim.
said,
Eu perguntei, onde é que fica a
"You're going to
igreja?
Boan?" He said, "Yes." And I asked,
Ele
"You know
seguiu-me.
where is the Church of the Apostle Mario?" And he
Foi
said, "The Church of
difícil
Apostle
chegar até lá,
Mario."
mas o que é
It's
certo é
not
que eu vou
hard
te
to get
explicar o
there, but
caminho para
what's for
poder chegar
certain is
até
that
lá.
I'll
Eu, na
explain
verdade, vou para
you the way so
Maclantrane,
you
tenho
can
um
get
carro
there. I'm
e esse
actually
não.
going to
Mas
Matlantrani
aquele que
and
eu
I
tenho
have
está
a car
ainda no car
and I am the
wash.
one driving, but the car I
E
have
depois
is
do
still
car
on
wash
car
eu digo, vou
wash.
seguir para
And after the
Boane.
car wash is where I'm heading to
Mas, na
Buan. So,
verdade, eu passo ali no 16, na direção da
but
igreja do
I
apóstolo
actually
Noé.
passed there to
Eu
the
disse,
kilometer
não, eu vou
16,
ficar à sua
the
espera
direction of
porque eu não
the
conheço
Church
a
of the
igreja.
Apostle Noah. And I said, "No,
E ele
I
disse,
may be waiting for you
escuta
because
aqui,
I
eu
don't
te
know
dou
the
moral, vá
church."
para aquela igreja. Ele olhou para
And he
mim
said,
e eu só tinha
"Listen,
100
I cheer you
medicals.
up. Go to that church is the
E eu
best
nem lhe
way."
disse que eu tinha 100
And I only
medicais.
had 100
Ele
medicals
só
in my pocket.
disse a mim,
And I didn't
diz
even
a
tell
mim,
him that I
pega
had
estes
100
200
medicals.
medicais
He only told
para
me,
poder
"Listen, boy,
conseguir
take this
fazer um
money,
lanche,
200
comprar
medicals,
alguma coisa lá.
so you can
Porque estou a ver que
decide to
olhando para
make a
ti eu consigo
lunch,
perceber
buy
que você nem
something
tem
there."
dinheiro. Ele levou
Because
200
I see
medicais
and looking
e
at
deu
you, I
os
can
restantes 200
realize that you
medicais
don't
para
even
comprar
have
alguma
money
coisa para
to
comer.
200
E
medicals,
lhe
gave
dei
to
o
me, and
dinheiro,
said, "Take this
saí,
200 medicals
subi
and
o
you'll buy
carro,
something
fiz
to
os
eat."
negócios que eu
I
fiz.
thanked, I took the
Quando
money,
cheguei
and
na
I left.
igreja,
I catch the
sentei no
bus, I
cartaz
made
do
the
lado de
connections I
fora,
made, and when I got to the
assistimos pela
church,
tela, do lado de
I
fora.
sat at the yard,
No
at the
momento em que
outside,
o apóstolo já estava a ministrar cura
watching
e
through the screen at
libertação
the
a
outside.
algumas pessoas
In a
a
moment
sair,
while the apostle was
eu
already ministering healing and deliverance to some
segui
people,
ali.
were going out. I approached, and
Quando
when I
cheguei,
got there,
o
the
apóstolo
apostle
veio já
came
na
now to
parte
the
onde eu
part where I
estava.
was at.
Quando
When
chegou,
he
parou.
approached and stood,
O que
what he
fez?
did,
Começou a
he
libertar as
began
pessoas.
to
Eu
deliver
parei.
people while I was standing, and
Repente,
suddenly
apareceram espíritos em
spirits
mim.
appeared in me.
Eu queria
I
agredir o
wanted to
apóstolo,
bid the apostle
coisas que eu nem
things that
sei, porque
I
eu
don't
estava
even know
lúcido.
because I was not lucid.
Porque
Because
nessa história eu
in
nem sei
this
de
story
nada,
I
porque
don't even know
estava
nothing
fora
because
de mim.
I was out myself.
Eu só
I just
dei conta de
I
mim
just
quando já estava na parte de
was
fora
aware of
daquele templo.
myself while I was outside the temple.
Já me haviam
They
segurado
already
ali
had
os braços
held
para
my
trás
hands
e me
back and
chegaram pelas
held
colas e
me by
seguranças
the
e
neck,
alguns
the
me
security and the
perguntaram,
workers, and they asked me,
afinal, você vem de onde?
"Where
Eu
are you
respondi,
coming from? Who sent you
enquanto
here?"
eu tinha
While I
no
had
bolso
in
um
my
papel de
pocket
propaganda de uma
the
determinada igreja. Eu já
paper
tinha já há muito
of
tempo.
publicity of a determined
E
church
aquilo
that I
ficava
had
no
for a
meu
long time,
bolso,
and that
estava naquelas
stayed
calças
in
naquele
my
dia.
pocket. It was in my pants
E nas calças sim
for a
que eu
long time.
trazia. Eu não
And in the
olhei. Apesar
pants was I had with me. I didn't look, but actually that paper
E
was
eles
there.
disseram,
And
então
they
você é
said,
um assassino.
"Oh, so you
Você
are a
foi
murderer. You
enviado
were
aqui para
sent
salvar o
here to
apóstolo.
murder
E
the
é essa
apostle."
igreja que te
And it
mandou.
was this
Então
church that
falavam da
sent you.
igreja
They were
como
talking
propaganda que
about
está
the
aparecendo no
church of the
papel.
publicity that was
E
on
eu
that
disse que
paper. And I
foi.
said,
Eu
"Oh,
nem vi matar
I didn't
nem
even
nem
come to
sei
kill
o
the
que
apostle. I don't
aconteceu.
even know why I'm
Na
here.
verdade, eu vim aqui
I came here to be helped. And said, no,
você tem que ir preso, você tem que levar
you must go
porrada.
arrested. You must be beaten.
Era normal você ter assassinado o
Was
pai.
normal for you to have tried to murder his father. And I said
Eu não
inside me,
tenho nada a
I
ver
don't
com
have
isso. Que
nothing
acontece o
to
que
do with
tiver
it.
que acontecer.
But it
Você
happens,
cometeu
whatever to
porrada.
heaven. They promised to beat me.
E nessa
And
parte
at that part
é quando apareceu um
is
senhor,
when a mister appeared
chamado Domingos.
named Domingos.
Ele, quando chegou
When he
ali,
approached there,
ele perguntou: Quem és tu?
he asked, "Who
Eu
are
comecei a
you?" And
explicar.
I
Eu
began to
disse:
explain, "I am
Domingos,
Domingos." And he
Domingos,
said,
que vai lá.
"Domingos, who comes
Eu
from where?"
expliquei
And I
e
explained to him, and he
perguntei o
asked,
que você queria fazer lá
"What
na
you
igreja. Eu
wanted to
disse:
do
Não
in church?" I
sei.
said, "I
Eu só
don't know.
cheguei e não sei o que
I
estava a
was just
fazer, nem
called.
o que
I didn't
estava a
even know what
acontecer.
was going on,
Eu
and
só vim a
what
essa
I
igreja por
wanted to
ver
do. I
alguns
just came to
irmãos
this
a
church for
serem
seeing some brothers being
ajudados
helped
de diversas
from
enfermidades.
various
E eu
infirmities,
vim
and I
aqui
came
para
here
poder ter
to
uma
have
libertação.
deliverance."
E eu disse: Eu
And
vim
I
aqui para
said,
ser
and I said,
ajudado.
I came
Não
here
por
to be
dinheiro,
helped,
nem por
not
bens
for
materiais,
money
mas sim
or
por
material goods,
orações,
but yes,
para eu
through
conseguir ter
prayers,
emprego
so I can have a
e
job
ter alguma coisa
and
para um futuro. Eu
have
disse: Tudo bem,
something for a future.
está
And he
certo,
said, okay,
vocês deixem esse
what's for
homem,
certain?
porque pode
You
ser verdade
live
que ele
this
venha
young man.
mesmo
Because
para ser
it can be
ajudado.
truth that he truly
Saímos
came to
dali
be
com o
helped.
próprio
He
senhor
left that
Domingos e
place
ele
with
disse
Mr. Domingos
aos
himself, and he
seus
said,
colegas
he said
que
to his colleagues that
esteve
had
ali, levaram-no
caught me there,
para
they took
onde?
me
Dentro
where?
da igreja.
To inside
E
a
quando eu
church.
conheci a parte interior da
It
igreja,
is
como é
where
que
I met the
está,
interior part of the
chegaram-nos,
church, how it is.
o
They
apóstolo
stood there and they spoke to
libertou,
me. The
libertou
apostle
ali,
delivered
o pai
people,
depois
delivered those who
veio
were there,
ter
and then the father
perguntou,
came and told
e
me
ali o senhor
and
Domingos
asked what
começou a
was going on.
explicar
And there,
que
Mr.
já aquela
Domingos
outra
began to
história,
explain everything, and then
assim que fui
the rest of the
ajudado,
story is the one
e eu
that
sou
you
grato.
know that have been
Eles referiram
helped.
o irmão Domingos,
The brother
que foi
Domingos
agarrado
referred
com
that he was
muita
held with
força
a lot of
por um
strength
número elevado de
by a
obreiros,
high
porque
number
ele
of
estava
workers
muito
because he
agressivo.
was very
Aqui
aggressive.
ele
Here,
referiu-se que
he
quase
referred
que
that
era
he was
agredido,
almost
mas tudo
bitten, but
isso
all
por
that
conta dos
because of the
360 demônios que o
360
possuíam.
demons that
E
possessed
depois
him.
daquele dia,
And
como,
after
como
that
é que
day,
será que o nosso irmão Domingos vive?
how
Quando
does
chegou na
our brother
igreja, não
Domingos
tinha
live?
trabalho,
When he got a church, he didn't
e o
have
que ele
a
deixou
job.
ficar, ele
And of what
explicou-nos que até
he
os
explained to
empregos que
us
ele
that even
tinha
the
antes de
jobs
conhecer a
he
igreja e
found
antes
before
de
knowing the
receber a
church and
oração do homem de
before
Deus,
receiving the prayer from the
tudo
man
quanto
of
ele
God,
ganhava, ele
all he
investia na
gained, he
bebedeira e
invested
no
in
cigarro.
drinking
E
and
hoje, ele
smoking.
conta a sua
And
vida,
today he
ele
tells
conta
his
assim
life,
que é a sua
he
história de
tells that
vida
his
transformada. É um
story
homem ou um
of a
jovem
transformed life. He's a
trabalhador,
man, or young man,
humildade,
a working
transformado,
young
recebido
man
pela
who's changed
sociedade.
and
E
transformed,
não só,
received by
mas ele
society,
também
and not all,
beneficiou-se
but he
da mão de
always also
compaixão.
had benefit of hand of compassion.
E desde
And
aquele momento que o
since
apóstolo
the
ministrou para
apostle
mim,
ministered
eu já
to me,
trabalho,
I now work.
apareceram irmãs
Sisters
que
appeared
me deram
who gave me a
emprego
job,
e me disseram:
and they
você não
said you
pode
cannot
ficar sem
stay without
trabalhar,
working.
você tem
You
que
must
trabalhar
work
e
and you
tem que
must
ter onde
have
viver
where
e
to
nós
live,
iremos
and we are going to
ajudar.
help.
Agora já estou
Now I'm
começando a
good,
trabalhar,
I'm working.
agora já
Now I
vejo
see
que
that.
já estou lúcido,
Now
consigo
I'm lucid
perceber a
and I
vida.
can
Aquelas palavras
understand
coisas já
life, and
saíram de
all those
mim.
things are
E
gone from
quais
me.
são as
And what
palavras que
are
tens
the
agora
words you have now
como
as
gratidão
words
ao
of
apóstolo Honório?
gratitude to the Apostle Nadia?
Porque ele
Because he
orou
is the
por
one
ti
who prayed
naquele
for you on
dia.
that day.
Se
And
não
if you
tivesse
didn't had
vindo
come to
na
church
igreja
on that
naquele
day,
dia, não
you
terias a
wouldn't have
libertação.
deliverance. That
Que os
the
irmãos também
brothers
não
and the
teriam te
brothers wouldn't have
ajudado.
helped you also.
O que tens que
What do you
dizer?
have to say to Father Apostle?
Tenho a agradecer
I
por
want
tudo
to
que
thank
fez
for
por
all
mim.
he
Eu
did
não
for me.
saberia, na
I
verdade,
wouldn't truly know
o que
what
é
is
viver,
to live,
o que é
what it is
crescer
to
na vida.
grow.
Tenho mesmo a
And
agradecer
I
muito a ti,
truly
Pai,
have a lot to
pelo
thank you,
poder
Father,
que tens.
and
Que
the
Deus
power you
possa
have. May
aumentar a
God
cada dia.
increase every day.
Te
May He
dar uma
give you
força
an inner
interior e
strength
fogo do
and
Espírito
fire of the
Santo.
Holy Spirit.
Porque Deus
And
te
because
chamou para
God
ajudar as
called you to
pessoas.
help
Então, por
people.
isso,
And
Não
that's
ajude
why I
a
don't
missão.
help just me,
Ajude
but
irmãos que
help
ainda
all
virão
those who
depois de
will
mim.
come after me.
E o que
And
foi
what
a
Father
perspectiva de
Apostle
si,
took from himself,
eu só não tenho que
I
lhe
just
agradecer, porque o ser
don't
humano,
have how to thank him because
enquanto
human
estiver em
being while
vida,
he's
só não tem o
alive
que dar para
only
si
doesn't
como,
have
como
how what
gratidão.
to give to
E
him
nem
as
sei o que
gratitude, and I
poderei
don't even
fazer
know what to
como
do
forma de agradecer.
as a
Na
way of
verdade,
thanking. But to be
pelos
honest,
dias
for
que
the
ainda
days that are still
virão,
to come,
eu poderei
I'll
trazer
manage to
alguma coisa.
bring a kind of gift.
Domingos,
Domingos,
aos irmãos
to
que
the brothers
assistem
who
agora
watch you now
e que verão a sua
and who see
história,
your story,
talvez estejam
maybe they
na mesma
are in the
situação que
same
você estava.
situation you were.
O
What do
que
you
eu tenho
have to
para lhe
tell
dizer?
them?
O que eu quero
What
lhe
I want
dizer
to
é o
tell them
seguinte,
is this,
meus
my
irmãos,
brothers, you
vocês que
who
ainda
are
estão na
still in
escuridão,
darkness, you
vocês que ainda estão
who
nas
are still
trevas e não
in
conseguem
darkness, who can't
ver
see
a
light,
luz, que Deus, eu vos
may
peço
God, I
que
ask you,
Deus
may
vos
God
abra os olhos para
open your eyes
entenderem
so you
o
can see the
caminho, assim
path as
como
I
eu,
did,
o
the
caminho que eu
path I was
estava,
in.
que hoje saí,
That
eu
today I
assim
came
estava
out, I was
pensando,
just
afinal de
thinking,
contas, como é que vai
but
terminar a minha vida?
how will my
Que
life
mal eu
end? What
fiz
wrong
nesta
did I do
terra
on this
para
earth
merecer
to
isto?
deserve
Por
this?
isso,
So,
irmãos, eu
brothers,
vos
I exhort
exorto.
you,
Aprendam
learn
alguma coisa
something
por mim
through my
também,
story
porque
and
também
through the
você
things
assim
that
nos
happened to
observa.
me.
Porque se não
Because if you
aprenderem
don't
nada
learn anything
do que
with what
aconteceu
happened to
comigo,
me,
não
there's
há
no
outro
other
caminho.
way. I
Eu vos
beg
peço,
you,
vocês
for
todos
all
que
of you who
assistem a
watch
minha
me,
história, que ainda
who
estão
watch
nesse
my story,
caminho,
and who are still in
que ainda estão
sorrow,
mesmo a
who are
enfrentar
still facing
dificuldades,
hardships,
procurem
seek for
perceber
understand
a finalidade da
the
vossa
end
vida.
of your lives.
Venham sexta-feira,
Come
terem bênção,
to receive blessings,
terem
to receive
restauração nas
restoration in
vossas
your
vidas,
lives,
para que tudo
so
na vossa
all in
vida
your
dê
lives
certo.
may go well.
Amados irmãos,
Beloved
esta é a
brothers,
história
this is the
das vidas
story of
transformadas
transformed
do
lives
irmão
of the brother
Domingos.
Domingos.
Se
If you
perceberem, se
realize and if you
acompanharem com
watch
atenção,
attentively
a história
his
deles
story,
verão o antes e o
you see the
depois.
then and
Quem
now.
olha
Who
para
looks at
ele
him
hoje
today
percebe que ele é
understands
um jovem
that he is a
transformado,
transformed
que
young
ele é um
man,
jovem
he's a
trabalhador.
working young man,
Até a
and even
aparência
his
dele
appearance
mudou.
changed.
Também
You
podes
can
ter a sua
also
vida
have your life
transformada.
transformed.
Podes
You
visitar a
may visit a
igreja,
church,
abrir o seu
open your
coração
heart,
e receber a sua
and
bênção ou
receive
o seu
your
milagre,
blessing or
assim
your
como
miracle
o irmão
as Brother
Domingos
Domingos
recebeu
received,
e hoje
and
tem a sua
today he
vida
has his life
transformada.
transformed.
Ora pashikra hantala. Lau gres kalira para dira. Zazou jalira kanvosila bonvra hatagira. Lengros kalira mondola bara pashendelira.
Muito
Thank you
obrigado.
very much. As
Conforme
you
vêem,
see,
este
this
é o emprego
is
pelo
the
qual clamava
job
dia e
for
noite.
which I
E
prayed day
hoje
and night.
já
And
tenho
today I have a
emprego,
job
sou
and I'm
abençoado,
blessed.
tenho a minha
I have
fonte
my
de
rent
renda
source
e eu
and I
trabalho
work
com a
with
selagem de
selling of
embrulhos,
packages,
alguns presentes.
some gifts.
Falo, por
I
exemplo,
talk,
de
for
embrulhos em que alguém
example,
queira levar para uma
packages that are
viagem.
being taken
Eu
to a
estou
trip.
cá
I'm here doing
fazendo
this
isto.
job.
Muito
Thank you very
obrigado.
much and
Obrigado.
thank you.
Kalira para dira. Zazou jalira kanvosila bonvra hatagira. Lengros kalira mondola bara pashendelira. Yendelira mandolera bara dila. Loungras calfrasijalira andalira aprakere. Os kalira andalira. Yendelira mongrolira borodila. Igras colira bara dila. Monfras kalira. Yendelira bara dele. Loungras kalira.